The following is intended for mature audiences only. Discretion is advised.
This is a Geek Bro podcast. What's up, besties? What am I doing? What's up? What's up, besties? This is episode 45 Feet Apart of Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes, and I am still the second part of that title. I hope that you're staying safe and healthy and not coughing into people's mouths. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news lately, but it is crazy out there. Real quick, I just wanted to say that I was on the latest episode of one of my favorite podcasts, This Is Rad, which is Kyle Clark and Matthew Burnside's podcast. We talked about the TGIF lineup, so on brand for me, and it was such a blast, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I genuinely don't say things like this very lightly, but it was honestly such a dream to be a part of that show. I've been listening to This Is Rad for such a long time, and it's genuinely such an honor to say that I've been on the show, and also that I'm friends with these people. Now on to someone else that I'm extremely honored to be friends with. This episode is Rafael Castillo. Rafi is an actor as well as a poet, and currently he is on CW's Black Lightning and Tyler Perry's Sistas on BET. This was such a great conversation. We talked about childhood as well as the craft of acting, crazy audition stories, all kinds of stuff. I really think that you guys are going to love this episode. So without further ado, please enjoy Rafael Castillo. Did you watch Tiger King?
No, I didn't. Everybody's been talking about it, but
Yeah.
I don't know, just that's not my kind of con. Like,
Sure.
For one, I'm not really huge on documentaries.
Okay.
In the first place.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's weird to say, but based off of what everyone's saying, if they were to make a Tiger King movie, I would watch it without a doubt.
Sure.
But the actual documentary doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't. It hasn't piqued my interest. Plus, I feel like I've heard too much of it.
Oh yeah.
About it to like even want to watch it.
Yeah. Kind of where I'm at is just like, I feel like I've heard about it so much that in my head I'm like, well, it can't possibly be that good. So
yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to sit down and watch it and be disappointed.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the way it's been hyped up is like, it sounds like it would be a great movie.
Right.
A great movie.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I'm just gonna wait until that movie comes up.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. I'm sure they will make a movie at some point.
Like starring Sam Rockwell or some shit, or Jim Carrey. Or
right.
like.
Sam Rockwell would be perfect, actually.
He would body it, bro.
Yeah.
He would off of what I've seen, he would body it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's a great mustache actor. He's really I love Sam Rockwell.
Easily one of the best character actors in the game.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
He's a whole different beast.
But yeah, so we started. Let me do this intro real quick, and we'll start the way that we usually do. Hey everybody, this is Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes. Hey guys, guess what? I'm Mike Valdes, and today I have a really awesome guest with me, Rafael Castillo. What's up, dude?
Yes. Blessings. What's up, man? What's up?
Dude, I'm so happy that you're here. It's been a long time coming. I wish that it was under different circumstances, but hey, you know, we're getting it done.
Yeah. Getting it done, bro. That's all that matters, man.
Yeah.
Doing.
So let me start with my first question for you, just so the listeners know a little bit more about you. Where did you grow up?
Oh, that's always such a like. It's a mixed question, I guess.
Sure.
I grew up for one all over Georgia. From birth to the age of 15, I lived all over the greater Atlanta area. But when I was 15, I moved down to Miami, and then I spent time there till I was about 24. So like, I'm a healthy mix of Miami and Atlanta.
That's great. And so, what kind of a kid would you say that you were growing up in school? Like, who did you sit with at the lunch table? That kind of thing.
When I was in Atlanta, I was not the best kid.
Okay.
I mean, suffice it to say, like, I got sent to Miami. I didn't move.
Okay. So it was a
I
Fresh
got
Prince of
sent to
Bel
Miami
Air situation.
to live with my older brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got sent to Miami. I didn't move there.
Okay.
But I was never like in any big trouble. It was just like I didn't care much about grades. I didn't never do anything in school. I've always been an athlete, but like that was the only thing that I ever really took serious.
Sure.
But never anything too crazy.
Yeah.
Never grew up in areas where things were crazy, but me personally, never anything too crazy.
Yeah.
And then when I got to high school, I hate to say it, but I was probably like your typical jock.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not bullying people or anything like that, but it was definitely a jock.
Mm-hmm.
I got with my football team. I did a lot of sports, and that's really it.
That's interesting to me because you're an actor now, which a lot of people would argue is the opposite of sports. And
100%.
and
I wish you could have heard the reactions of a lot of people when I decided I wanted to quit football and be an actor.
yeah, which is why this is so interesting to me. Acting never interested you growing up?
Oh no, 1,000%. 1,000%. That's why to me, it's not a surprise because acting is something I always wanted to do. Like even when I was a kid and I would watch like athletes in movies and I'd watch Space Jam and Michael Jordan or like I watched The Rock on Disney Channel. Like, I would be like, oh, I'm gonna be that type of athlete that does movies. Like you're gonna see me in movies as well. Okay. I'm gonna do my thing, but I'm also gonna be in movies and shows. Like it's something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be a part of entertainment, and I never actually pursued it until high school. In a sense, I joined TV and production at Ferguson, and my teacher, Miss Ozone, shout out to her because she allowed us this creative freedom. We were in TV2, and in TV2, you're only supposed to go around and like interview people on certain topics. And I told her, I was like, if I have an idea and the idea is good, would you let us do it? And me and Mikey, Bermuda's what you know, we came up with this show called Come On Men. And it was pretty much like the guide of do's and don'ts of high school, whatever it may be. It was a full production. Like we would start off having a conversation, go into a skit showing what we were telling you not to do, and then come back and tell you the reason why you shouldn't do it. And it was like, I edited it. A couple other people would edit it, and then we had actors, and me and him were the host. So it was like a full production. Like I learned how to edit their sound, all of that, and that was my first time like playing with that kind of world. And like it was fairly popular. Like a lot of people actually liked it, and it was that was like my first taste into that entertainment. But I was never comfortable enough to fully go that way because football was like my everything.
Yeah, that's so interesting to me. I mean, the funny thing now is that, I mean, there's character actors and things like that, but majority of the actors that are popular now are athletes. So, like, it's getting to a point where Marvel has their own gym, Like,
yeah.
So,
definitely.
So,
and you'd be surprised at like how many actors like come from collegiate sports.
Of course.
Like, you have so many times that I've been on set and I'm like, oh, I played high school and college basketball. What? Yeah, I played college football. What? Oh, I was in the NFL. What? Like,
yep.
Like I was having a full blown conversation with my stunt double on Black Lightning, and I found out he was in the NFL.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Retired NFL player, and I was like, what?
That's so funny. To move on into the next question, what were your earliest fandoms that you remember? We already started talking a little bit about like how you liked certain movies growing up and things like that, but what are the things that really started inspiring you?
To be an actor or just like entertainment period?
Entertainment period. Just anything. It could be music, it could be movies, anything.
Man, that's a good question. It's one that I probably never actually thought about. Well, for one, I've always been a fan of superheroes. Anything comic book related, I've always loved. Like the concept of like having superpowers and like that whole world of it all, it's always been something I've been in love with. Like whether it be Marvel, DC, whatever it is, I've always loved it. So that's always been something that I've loved a lot. And Will Smith. I know that's not a genre, but Will Smith, man.
It kind of is.
He's probably the actor that inspired me to act.
Okay.
Because when I was younger, they used to play Fresh Prince on Nick at Night. And that show was my first experience watching something and having felt every emotion. You know, because some things you'll watch, like you'll watch and it's all laughter. Some things are really dramatic. Some things are very like shocking. Something, but like Fresh Prince, like that was the first thing that I can remember in my earliest memory watching and having cried, having laughed, suspicious of something, paranoid. Like that was the one project that at that time in my life that made me feel everything. And I was like, I want to do that.
That's great. And so you were talking about comic books. Who were some of your favorite superheroes?
My favorite superhero is the Hulk. I just feel like I can relate to the Hulk so much. Like,
Sure.
a very calm person. Like,
Yeah.
then, like there's the whole anger thing. Like, it takes a lot to get me angry. But if I get angry, it's like,
You need a new pair of pants.
yeah, you know, I'm ripping off of it. That's definitely my biggest. But there's also little heroes here and there that I like things about them specifically.
Sure.
I like the Flash. I don't know. There's always been something dope about the Flash. Like he's kind of like the childish member of the Justice League, and
Yeah.
he's one that plays a little bit more. And like, you know, he's definitely dope. What I learned recently, because I'm on the show now, I did a little research. Black Lightning.
Yeah.
That's the first Black superhero family in comics.
Yeah.
And that's something to appreciate. Spider-Man obviously was.
Yeah.
I think every kid at some point likes Spider-Man.
Of
like,
course.
that's his
Yeah.
favorite. And then that was the first like real legit like superhero movie that we got outside of X-Men, Black Panther, and that's recent as well because of the movie. You know, you see and the impact that it has on the culture, and that movie was just beautiful to me. Like,
Yeah. It was a great
to
movie.
to see a movie full of people looking like me, and to see that success, like that was awesome. Those are probably my favorites. I obviously like the Batman story. I hate Superman though.
explain
not,
why.
He's not fair.
Yeah.
He's not fair. Like, I get it. He's the first superhero ever. But like, how do you give him like every power? He's a cheat code, bro.
Right.
He has no. His weaknesses are himself. That's like, come on, man.
Yeah. It's kind of difficult to like Superman if you've read the Bible, you know, because you're just like, oh, he's Jesus.
He's Jesus. Yeah, he's Jesus. So I was like, all right, bro. All right. So like, when my debate is like, oh, Goku. I like Goku.
Yeah,
That's another
Goku.
thing. Dragon Ball Z. I grew up off Dragon Ball Z too.
For sure. That's awesome, man. I love it. Just to go into our next bit, what were some of your favorite snacks growing up that you can remember?
Pop-Tarts, man.
Pop-Tarts?
I think I've always liked Pop-Tarts.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Just the regular frosted strawberry one, or
any kind, bro.
any kind?
Any kind.
Just plain?
I'm impartial.
Yeah.
But
That's
like,
great.
I guess more specifically, like there would always be the strawberry frosted,
Sure.
or the brown sugar cinnamon. My mom would put like butter on it and then toast it. And it was just always good.
Okay.
Delicious.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Try it.
To put butter on
Not
it
the
and then toast
healthiest
it?
thing, honestly. It's not the healthiest thing, but
Yeah, but
try it.
you're already halfway there with a Pop-Tart. Like, why
You know
does it
what I
matter?
mean? we don't do things half-assed in this house.
Yeah, that's that. Oh man, I've never even thought of that hack. That's great. We talk about cereal on this podcast. What were your favorite cereals?
Oh, yo, I'm bugging cereal. I love cereal.
Yeah.
Like cereal.
You're on a cereal podcast, Rafi.
Yo, like straight up, like I always get argued at because I eat all the cereal in my house. I love cereal. It doesn't matter like what time of day it is. If you say let's eat cereal, I'll be like, all right, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. What are your favorites?
Cocoa Pebbles, definitely. But like weirdly enough, the Walmart brand, you know, the big bag,
Sure, absolutely.
that one specifically is my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, that I love Honey Bunches of Oats,
Yeah.
almond, and the Oreo cereal.
Oh, Oreo O's. We've reviewed that on this podcast. That's a good one.
Really?
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's definitely good. And most recently, the s'more cereal.
Yeah,
Have you ever tasted s'more cereal?
I have.
Yo, I'm bugging. Yo, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yo, I just like all cereal. I told you. Like, that's I can't believe I forgot about cereal, bro.
Yeah.
I love cereal, bro.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I mean, that's usually everybody's favorite. So, like, I have a bit about cereal on stage now. And so, like,
really?
yeah, it's like a crowd work bit, kind of. And, you know, it's one of those things where I ask people what their favorite cereal is. And I usually always have my own kind of, like, thing on each one, usually. So, like, you know, like, they'll say Trix or whatever, and then I'll say, okay, well, to me, what I find funny about Trix is that it taught kids not to talk to homeless people. like on in the commercials, because it's literally the rabbit is just a crazy homeless man saying, "Hey man, can I have some?" And you're just like, "No, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids." You know, it's training kids not to talk to homeless people. Like,
Yo, that's a fact, bro.
yeah, and
That's
then
a fact.
what's it
Oh,
called?
silly rabbit. Don't keep your
Yeah.
ass. Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
Yeah.
Loser.
And like another thing that was super funny is like I don't know if you remember the Frosted Flakes commercials. Do you remember those?
They're great.
Yeah,
They're
there's
great.
everybody usually remembers that, but what people don't remember until I start saying it is that it usually always involved kids playing sports.
Oh yeah. I had the soccer commercial in my head.
Right. And then the kids would show up and their moms would bring them Frosted Flakes and the kids would be like, "Yay, Frosted Flakes." Like, who wants Frosted Flakes after you've worked out? It makes no sense. Like,
Not at all.
like
Not at
I
all. But
love
you know
Frosted
what?
Flakes, but not after I work out.
Listen, I respect them so much because they got away with it.
Sure.
No one thought to logically ask, "Mom, why are you bringing me cereal
Yeah.
after this?" And not oranges like any regular.
Right. Like Timmy's dad. Yeah,
Mom,
dude.
I don't want milk right now, please.
Yo, growing up, like I tell people this all the time. The fact that we found anything appetizing as kids with those commercials is ridiculous.
Yeah,
We like
I'm not gonna lie.
remember as kids how we loved mystery flavors?
Yeah.
Why is that a mystery? Just tell me what it is. Like it's
But you know what though? What's that? Airheads.
yeah,
The mystery flavor is bomb. I don't know to this day what it is.
it's gasoline
bomb.
probably. Yeah.
Wow, that would be terrible.
I mean, let's be real. Like, I mean, we kids were drinking Surge, and like, you know, we're drinking Surge, and like, we can't have kids anymore because we drank 3 Surges. You know,
wildly dangerous. I can't believe it. Why would you? First of all, why would you let your kid drink something called Surge?
I know.
That's a red flag in its own.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, whoa, be careful.
And not to mention, the soda was like green, dude. It looked like you should be putting it in your car to make it start. That's what it looked like, and we were like, "That looks delicious."
We have some pretty irresponsible parents, I'll tell you that.
I'm telling you, dude, it's kind of crazy. So every episode of this podcast, I like to review a box of cereal with my guest. It is kind of difficult right now because we're Zoom conferencing,
Yeah.
but we can use our imagination. And you're an actor, you know how to do these kinds of things. So I usually like to get a cereal that has something to do with my guest in some way, shape, or form. So I spoke with my sponsors over at Funko. Now, by sponsor, I mean that I like them and I buy all of their products. And by spoke to, I mean that I tweeted them repeatedly and they didn't get back to me. So the cereal that I got for you, Funko brand Batman cereal.
Yo. Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It has these little blue O's right here. Comes with a cereal prize, which is a lost art form, in my opinion. There's also a maze on the back, which is pretty great. Yeah, it's a really awesome box of cereal here. I think it would be fun to review this cereal, right? But it would be way more fun to review this cereal as Batman. So, yeah. So, and here's the thing, dude. If I know the internet at all, they love it when we cast a new Batman. So this is gonna be great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready, you can just review this cereal or what you think this cereal tastes like or looks like from the images I've given you as Batman. Whenever you're ready.
Multi-grain cereal.
Mm-hmm.
I do I have to talk like this?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, if you want, I can be Alfred. I'll go, Master Bruce, here's your din. I'll just. Is that a good Michael Caine impression? Right. Master Bruce, here's your din.
Alfred. Why is it blue? It worries me.
It's
Does that say multi-grain?
It is multi-grain because you need different grains. You need multiple different grains in your multi.
Are these just blueberry honey nut Cheerios?
There's a possibility I have not eaten them yet, but
Alfred, will my milk be blue when I eat this?
in fact, your poo-poo will be blue.
Alfred, can I see the back?
Yes, Master Bruce, give me just one moment here.
Oh, that's garbage. Let me see the side. I need to see. Alfred.
Oh, you don't like that maze? It reminded you of the Riddler?
Oh, so there's no fun facts on here, Alfred.
No, there's some nutritional. There's some nutritional facts right here. There you go.
Why is this box so uninformative? I'm a little worried. There's no flavor.
There's no flavor information. Why am I?
There's a possibility if you can get through this maze that we might be able to find Rachel, but I'm not quite sure.
I'm gonna say these are blueberry Cheerios.
Yeah, fair enough. Batman cereal, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. They said it couldn't be done. They were probably right, but we did it.
First Black Batman, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Honestly, if we were gonna have the first Black Batman, I'd want it to be you.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah. This episode of Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes is brought to you by the Crunch Cup. Save time in the morning by taking your cereal on the go. Simply add cereal to the inner cup, milk into the outer cup, screw on the lid, and you're ready to crunch. Eat cereal in the car, at your desk, or anywhere else you want. Go to thecrunchcup.com to purchase what I think is a genius invention and use the discount code MikeValdez10. That's Mike, M-I-K-E, Valdez, V-A-L-D-E-S, the number 10, to save 10% off of your order. You can also sign up for their monthly giveaway to win a year's supply of cereal. So what are you waiting for? Go to thecrunchcup.com and use promo code MikeValdez10 to save 10% off of your order. The Crunch Cup. It's better than spooning. This episode of Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes is brought to you by Real Good Foods. I am so excited to announce that Real Good Foods has launched their very first dessert item, ice cream. Real Good ice cream is the first ever super premium better for you ice cream. It's extra creamy, so there's no icy or chalky texture like other light ice creams, making it a real ice cream experience with real ingredients. Only 180 calories and 4 grams of sugar per serving. Real Good ice cream is sweetened by using allulose, which isn't like regular sugar. It's a naturally occurring rare sweetener found in figs, dates, and maple syrup. Ultimately, it has 1/10 the calories of cane sugar, which means it won't spike your blood sugar levels. Real Good ice cream comes in a variety of flavors, and starting today, they can be found at realgoodfoods.com and the Vitamin Shop. And guess what? Real Good Foods is giving all Childlike at Best listeners a discount code that'll make us all scream for ice cream. Visit realgoodfoods.com, choose as many of your favorite items, and use promo code BESTIE at checkout. That's BESTIE at checkout to receive 15% off your order. Real Good Foods. Keep it real. I want to move on into your acting career and things like that. You were talking about how you wanted to become an actor in high school and things like that. When did you actually start taking it seriously as a profession?
Well, after I was done with high school, I went on to play college ball on a scholarship. And I thought that was my passion. And I thought that was like my thing. But just after 2 years of playing, like, I lost all love for it. Yeah. And it was more so, oh, I have to do this instead of I want to do this. So I made the decision to kind of stop playing ball and come back home. And I was still trying to, because I always told myself, like, a goal was always to play Division I football. And I didn't get to do that outside of the gate. I didn't get to do that right out of high school. Continued submitting while I was home to Division I school, sending my highlight tape. And it just didn't work out. And That's fine. At the time, it was heartbreaking.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, it was heartbreaking. But now I understand that's fine. And I was home. I was there for about a year. I was home for about a year. I went back to Miami-Dade, and I was just really depressed because like it's embarrassing in a way to have everyone see you leave to go do like these great things, and then like 2 years later you're not done with the great things, but you're home now,
Oh, I know.
and now you're on Miami-Dade, and everybody's like, oh, "Yo, what are you doing here, man?" Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh, having to explain like, oh, I'm not playing anymore," and
Yeah.
just those things. And it was a really depressing year for me because it was like, "Oh, my dreams aren't gonna come true." And then one day, Mikey, he hit me up and he was like, "Yo, remember we were talking about in Lindenwood about like, trying some acting class or whatever?" I'm like, yeah, wow, what's up? He's like, "I found this acting class in Wynwood. It has high ratings. It's the first thing you see when you type in Miami schools for acting, whatever. And they give you the first class free." And to me, it was like, yo, what?
Yeah.
Like the first class free? Let's do it. Like, even if I don't like it, let's do it.
Of course.
And we went to that first class, and I remember the day, man. It was December 15th, 2015. We went to that first class, and I fell in love, bro. From then on, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. And it came at a steep price, a price that honestly I couldn't afford at the time. And literally all my work checks went to paying for that class because I was doing a part-time job and I was working at Foot Locker.
Wow.
I was making the greatest amount of money. I was in school still, but I was committed, and it was something that like every day that I did it, I wanted to do it more. And I remember I was having a conversation with my cousin, my older cousin, and it was before I quit playing football. And he was like, "Oh, do you think this is a passion for you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, like a programmed answer. Yeah, it's a passion, man. My dreams to play in the NFL, blah, blah." He's like, "If I told you that tomorrow you could play in the NFL, but you would have to do it for free, would you do it?" I was like, "No."
Yeah.
Like immediately, no thought, like absolutely not. I would not do it. He's like, "Then it's not a passion." And for me, it was like, oh, okay. And I had felt that for the first time with acting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it really tests you on your first day on set, on an actual set, because acting class is always fun.
Yeah.
Even though it's hard, it's always fun. But when you're on set for 12 hours and you're not getting paid, and they tell you to bring 7 outfits to see which one we like the most, and you barely get fed if you do, and different things like that, and you're still willing to do it, it's like, okay, this is a passion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was with acting. That was the first time I ever felt that. It was like, yo, we shoot 12 hours today. I'm extremely exhausted. I drove an hour to get here. I have to drive an hour to get back home. It's 3:00 in the morning, and you're asking me to be back at 8:00, and I'm excited to do it.
No, absolutely. And in fact, ironically, Michael Caine said this all the time. He said they pay me to sit around. I do the acting for free.
Yeah, straight up.
Which is just it's just the truth. If you truly love something, you'll do it for free. It's just,
Absolutely.
it's the sitting around or whatever the case. For football, I'm sure it's like the travel is probably the annoying part. If that's your true love, is just like constantly having to travel and leave your family. Same for stand-up, I would say. For example, when I do stand-up and I'm on stage, I don't feel like I'm working. I mean, sometimes I do, but not all the time. I usually
even on those days when it feels like work, you'll happily do it again the next day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That is 100% true. When was the next step of like, okay, I need to get an agent, I need to start getting headshots, and then I need to start putting myself out there?
Well, I mean, off rip, I'm the type of person that if I don't like doing things I'm not good at.
Same here.
So if there's something that I'm not good at, I'm not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you tell me, hey, let's go play basketball, I might say no because I'm not good at basketball. You know what I mean? Like, but if I care enough about something, I'll put in that effort to be at least good. And I felt that way about acting. Like at first, I wasn't great. I'm not gonna say I was horrible, but I wasn't great. And I told myself, okay, before the world sees this, I need to make sure that I'm good enough to be comfortable to show the world. So I didn't even think about agencies, headshots, or anything until like, I want to say a year into acting classes, maybe a little less than a year into acting classes. And I hadn't gone on any auditions. I hadn't had an agent. I didn't have headshots, nothing. First job I ever got was when my acting coach offered me a role in his movie. And then he told me, oh, you got to start getting headshots. So I went and got some headshots done, completely unprofessional. I had no idea what a headshot was supposed to look like.
Sure.
So like they obviously did not work.
Yeah.
And by the time I submitted to my first agent, he was like, "Oh yeah, you got to get new headshots. These are horrible." But I would say after doing my first couple of jobs in student films, I was like, okay, let me push for an agent now because I have footage.
Yeah.
I have actual footage, and it's decent. It's good enough. At the time, I was like, this is great. But now knowing, it was like, it's all right. You can get an agent off. So I was submitted to agencies like big agencies. Like, like any young, ignorant person would do. Like,
sure.
Yeah, let me send my stuff to CAA and William Morrison. Like,
oh, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Obviously, that didn't work out. But
yeah. The thing that's so funny about that is, like, I can't remember what year it was, but I went to this thing called IMTA. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's a International Modeling and Talent Association thing that they do in LA and in New York once a year. And essentially all the agents and managers from these places like CAA and all that kind of stuff go there so they can find new talent. And so it's kind of a good place to get scouted and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was just like you in the beginning, where it's like I didn't realize you can't just like knock on someone's door and be like, hey, I'm Mike Valdes. And they'll be like, okay, who cares? And then they'll slam the door in your face. So like it just doesn't work like that, which it sucks when you have 500 headshots in a dream because like you think that you're the best. And yeah, sure, you are in South Carolina, but like this is LA, boo-boo. You know what I mean? Like, what do you...
This is the Olympics.
Yeah.
This is... I mean...
Yeah, so, like, you need to prove that you're better than, like, Leonardo DiCaprio. Not just prove that you're better than freaking Beatrice and the choir at South Carolina. You know what I mean?
You got to be better than Brian from that one August Wilson play you guys did at the...
better than Brian? Yeah, dude. That was the one review that you have on your resume. He was better than Brian.
No, look. The school paper said I was better than Brian. Like, I'm legit, bro.
Yeah, CAA loves that.
Every interview. All right, hey, you gotta press the dimmer, but we got one question. Are you better than Brian from Miami Playhouse? By the way, I don't know if there is a real Brian in my...
I highly doubt it.
I'm not talking about you, real Brian.
No, I highly doubt it, man. That's hilarious. Honestly, if anyone's learned anything from this podcast, in order to be successful as an actor, you should always be better than Brian. Like, that's literally
the number one rule.
Yeah, that's the house rule, is always be better than Brian, then you can go on to the next step. If you're not better than Brian, then you got to stay at the freaking Parker Playhouse or wherever you're at.
To finish the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally had done about a couple months of, indie short films, and I decided it was time to, like, try to get representation. I went to my acting coach. He gave me a list of agents. I hit up that entire list. None of them wanted to talk to me.
Sure.
So then I had a friend, Jamal. You know Jamal.
Yeah, I love Jamal.
Jamal, he gave me this list of agencies. Like, hey, look, bro, this is like a list of like all the agencies in the Southeast. And I was like, who are you with? And he was like, I'm with these people. I'm like, yo, can you give me like can you put me down like one of the emails? He gave me the email. I submitted, and I got my first agent. And then, I think that's when I really started to take myself a bit more serious. I had representation, and I was kind of just taking auditions. I didn't book anything for a little minute, though.
This is going to be the fun question for me, because I've gone through a lot of things like this, but give me some funny or embarrassing or weird audition stories.
I don't know about embarrassing to me as a professional,
Sure.
But I don't know if it's funny. I just know it's like, wow, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
I had an audition. I had a self-tape audition for this independent movie.
That's how you know it's bad, because it was a self-tape. You could have done another take, but you sent that one.
Listen, man. So here are a couple flaws. Did it with my entire house living room as a background. I wasn't even smart enough to pick a wall.
Oh no.
I did not have a tripod, so I just had it leaning on like a chair. I was really far from the camera, as if we were shooting a wide shot of the entire scene.
Oh my god.
My brother was in his room blasting the TV. I had another family member that was blasting music in the living room, and I did a voiceover for the lines.
You were your own reader?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Not even altered the voice.
Oh.
It was just me. It was just me. And so to say, I didn't hear back.
But here's the thing, though. The silver lining that I see in that is that whenever anyone says, hey, what shouldn't I do? They'll just send you that video.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Hey, here's whatever he did,
don't do that.
Don't.
Yeah. Here's what you shouldn't do.
That was like one of my first auditions.
Oh my goodness. So let me give you this one. But I went to an audition for a commercial, which, like, commercial auditions are their own monster. A commercial audition is a completely different monster than doing a movie role, because in a movie, 1,000%. In a movie role or in a television role, you're playing a character, and it's obvious that you're playing a character. In a commercial, you're just selling a product, so really all they need is your face. You're kind of just a puppet that sells freaking Invisalign or whatever it is that they're trying to sell. So I went, and it was for Skittles, right? And the commercial was the audition. I don't know about the commercial because I didn't get it, but the audition was, what we want you to do is we want you to open your mouth and stick your tongue out, and we're going to animate Skittles like dancing on your tongue. I did it. That was the
audition.
Right, that was the audition.
I hate commercial auditions for that reason.
Dude, by the way, no lines of dialogue. Which, by the way, thank God there were no lines of dialogue with my tongue out. Just being like, this is great. Like, there wasn't like anything like that. But it still kind of scares me to this day that there's a possibility that in a vault somewhere, there's footage of me with my tongue out. And I'm looking, and I'm trying to balance invisible Skittles. like, what is this for, dude?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, commercial auditions are a monster.
When you blow up, watch that video just come out.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
I think I've been lucky enough to like do pretty well in in-person auditions.
Yeah.
In my career, I've definitely had one where like it was just like a lack of preparation. Mm-hmm. I had spent like the whole night before and the whole morning prepping the script that they gave me for the role and blah blah. And then as soon as I showed up, they're like, "Hey, we want you to read for these sides. You have 10 minutes."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And like I went into full panic mode, overdrive. I went into the room and it was just a bad audition.
Yeah.
Very bad audition.
But the thing is,
I've had that, but you know, I can't really say something that was like really funny, except for that first one. It was just a shit show of a something.
Right. Well, I mean, and the thing is, when it comes to things like that, it kind of prepares you, really, because if you've ever been on a set for a television show or even listened to like podcasts of people that have been on Saturday Night Live or anything like that, that is constantly happening. Script changes always happening.
Absolutely.
And think about it like this, like there's a lot of people that are always like, man, they're always laughing on SNL. Yeah, most of the time they're laughing because they're reading that for the first time. That's literally what it is. Like the writer was like, nope, this is the better joke, and that's it.
And first of all, who complains about that? That is the best.
I love it. I love it when that happens. But like, for example,
that is the best.
Yeah. One of my favorite characters that Bill Hader ever played was Stefan, right?
Yeah.
Literally the bit, especially after knowing what they were doing behind the scenes, it made the bit better, was that John Mulaney was purposely always trying to make him laugh. So he would rewrite things seconds before they were said.
Oh, wow.
That's why he was always laughing.
That makes it so much better. I'm so glad I know that.
I know, yeah. It makes it a way more fun thing. Like, a lot of people give crap to SNL, but like, Somebody at Vulture said this, and it's the smartest way to look at Saturday Night Live, because a lot of people are like, man, it's not as great as it was when Adam Sandler was on. And it's like, yeah, but like, how old were you when Adam Sandler was on? I was 12. Yeah, because everything's great when you're 12. Like, that's just the way that it is. Like, you know, or Will Ferrell was great when you were 12, like, or whatever the case. And so the best way to watch SNL is to watch it like you're watching sports. You watch a sketch and you're like, okay, that was a win. That was a point. The next sketch, all right, that was a loss. Okay, that wasn't all that great.
I agree.
And then when you finish the whole show, you're like, all right, well, I mean, they got a couple wins in there. It wasn't a horrible show. Like, it wasn't horrible.
With sketch shows, like, it's the individual sketches that we go back to.
Of course.
Like,
even Key and Peele is like that.
Yeah,
where you go back to
that's just how it is, bro. Like, you're gonna always quote these great sketches that had that moment. Like, very few times have I gone back to look at a full episode because the whole thing was just hilarious.
Right. Well, and look at it like this: like, what best of Will Ferrell or best of Adam Sandler have you seen that is just one full episode? Like, it's just like, episodes spanning their entire time at Saturday Night Live. It's the greatest hits.
Yeah, bro. Everything's always better with nostalgia, man.
Of course.
Just what it is.
Well, yeah, that's 100% true. So just to go on, was the quad your first big thing?
Yes, that was my first like TV job. And, I think it was actually my third professional audition. The third professional audition I sent in. It was the quad, and I booked it.
Tell me about that, because it's a great story. The whole story really is a great story.
Well, man, it was just, you know, after months of auditioning, and not only for a profession, like I said, I was the third professional one, but like indie movies and commercials, months of auditioning, I didn't get anything. And I had just got a brand new agent, and he was starting to send me bigger productions, more opportunities. At that time, I had my package sorted together. My resume was a little bit better. My headshots were a bit more of quality, bookable. Everything was bookable.
Right.
And I grew as an actor. And I had this audition for the quad, and at the same time, me and my friend Kirby Collins were creating a web series. We had that web series set, which, we got to get back to, by the way, whatever. That's another story. We had that web series set, and the day before we had our first table read, I got that audition. And I believe it was October 5th, I sent in the audition. No, October 6th, I sent in the audition, I think, at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I filmed it on October 5th, going into October 6th, 5 o'clock in the morning. I sent in the audition, fresh out of the table read. I was like, yo, everybody, look at this. Which one's the best? All right, boom. I sent in the audition. And the next day in the morning, I got a call from my agent. He was like, hey, they like you. And this is my first time, like, even hearing that. So I'm like, okay, what does that mean?
Right.
He's like, okay, so now they're going to send you to production. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, well, the way it works is, you have your casting directors. They send you to production. Production decides if they like you. Then they send you to network, and networks decide if they want you. If network likes you, you get the job. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he tells me 12 o'clock, production, I'm waiting to hear back from production. I'm like, cool. So I'm waiting. And then a couple hours later, I want to say 5, he calls me, and he's like, hey, they like you. They're sending you to network. I'm like, okay, dope. Like, that's kind of crazy. And then I don't hear anything from the rest of the day. Mind you, I live in Miami still. The quad film's in Atlanta. I'm doing this as a local hire.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, a local hire means you are working within, I think it's like 500 miles of the location. Not 500, 50 miles. Mm-hmm. 50 miles of the shoot location. It's something around that number. Meaning I would have to house myself, pay for my own flight, pay for everything. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, I can be there at the drop of a dime. Just let me know. He hits me up the next day, Monday morning. He says, hey, you got the job. I'm like, what? Like, super ecstatic. Like, this is crazy. I was doing my first TV job. Yeah, they want you there tonight for a dressing. I'm like, what? I'm still in Miami. I'm not about to flight. I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, where are you? He's like, I'm in Miami right now. He's like, well, you need to buy a flight right now to get there right now. I'm like, okay. So I start calling everyone. At the time, my car wasn't working. It was 12 o'clock during the day, so everybody's at work.
Yeah, and you didn't have any surge to make the car work.
was lacking surge.
Yeah.
And speaking completely honestly, I was broke. I had like $10 in my account. So I called my siblings. They paid for my flight immediately. And then I called everyone I knew. No one could pick me up. And I couldn't afford the Uber.
Mm.
So luckily, finally, someone answers, and it was Luis Diaz.
Yeah.
And he scooped me up, dropped me off at the airport. I'm on pace to be at the dressing on time. And luckily, right before I got on my flight, they canceled it. And I made it. And then the next day was my first day shooting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so nuts. And then, in fact, I actually think the story of the shoot was interesting as well from the last time we talked.
Yeah,
Elaborate.
and I feel like I'm gonna be telling this story for like the rest of my career. I essentially almost lost my first job.
Yeah.
Like I said, everything happened so fast. And the thing about that a lot of people don't know is that when you're a co-star, and for those of you who don't know what a co-star is TV roles are broken down, I guess, by size of the role. It is a series regular; those are your main characters that are in every episode. It is a guest star or a guest star recurring. That is that one person. They take a focal point in the episode. They're not necessarily the lead, but they're a focal point. A good example would be the criminal in the Criminal Minds episode.
Right.
So that's a guest star. And then you have a co-star. And a co-star is like the person that's like, hey, here's your coffee. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
The only time you ever see them again. The quad was a co-star. It was a co-star recurring. So like I was in it a couple of episodes. But when you're a co-star, there's not a lot of importance on what you're doing.
Right.
There's not a lot of, hey, we're going to give you this script ahead of time. There's not, sometimes there is, depending on the production. But what happened with the quad is that I got it and I didn't know what I was doing. They didn't send me a script. So when I heard that I was shooting, I got to location. Like, oh yeah, today we're doing the party scene. Are you in the party scene? No, I'm just gonna be like extra. Like I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't got nothing to worry about because I was playing a frat, someone rushing a frat. No, they'll probably have me in a corner where I have to like watch them do something.
Right.
I get to my trailer and the head PA is like, "Hey, look, here's your trailer. Your script's inside." I'm like, "Script?" yeah, your script for your scene. I'm like, "What do you?" Oh my God. So I went in and I start reading it, and the whole scene is me talking.
Yeah.
No one else, just me talking. So I'm like, no. So I get to learning it, and it's the scene where I'm like told, and I'm spitting knowledge.
Yeah.
For the big brothers, and I'm learning it. And the thing is like it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a ton of words. The scene in total, like on my part, was probably like 20 something seconds. But it was the way I had to say it, and me being a new actor. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, Sydney, you got Banging Chapters 419, like spitting that knowledge the same way you would as if you were rushing a frat.
Yeah.
So I'm learning it the whole day, and I'm trying to get it down, but like it's my first job ever. I'm super nervous, and it's not only like I'm not there the whole time in my trailer. Like I'm having to stop to go try on my wardrobe. I go back. I have to stop to go get a haircut. I have to stop to go get makeup. You know, that whole process.
Yeah.
I have to stop to go eat dinner. I have to stop to socialize because like you gotta meet people. You gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And I'm there, and I feel like, okay, I know it. I wasn't confident, but I know it.
Yeah.
And then we get to set, and it just leaves. It completely said, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna stay on the bus. You go ahead and handle business." And I was like, "No, I need you." And he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna stay here. You go ahead and business." So I get there. Mind you, all of these guys are recurring actors, they're recurring characters. They all have been professional actors for however long. Some of them are blowing up at that point, and it's me.
Yeah.
And we're all in the green room, sitting in our chairs, and I'm just like shitting my pants the whole time. Very quiet in the corner. They're like the most relaxed human beings ever. They're joking, and to me, it's like, how y'all chilling so much? But I'm fooling. They call us down. And I'm like, okay, this is fine. This is fine. Like, whatever. And the thing is, like I said, about a co-star, they don't put a lot of importance on what you do. In other words, yo, come in, do what you have to do, and get out. Like, don't waste our time. Like,
it isn't, if you don't know your lines, it isn't cute. Like when the lead forgets his line.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
super
like,
cute
no,
when
we're not going to be patient with you.
Yeah.
We're not going to be patient with you. You know, and an hour can cost us $10,000 or whatever.
Exactly.
So, I get down there and we start rehearsing, and I'm in position. And the director says, "All right, go." And I don't say a fucking word. Like I'm just quiet. And he looks at me. He's like, "Go." I'm like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't hear you." Like try to play it off. He did not laugh back.
Like, thought the word was action.
And I could not say anything past the first two words.
Oh man.
And he's like, "Yo, somebody bring me a script."
Yeah.
And like, yo, there's extras in the back, and anyone who knows, like, yo, easily he could say, "You know what? Just go to the back. One of you extras, if any of you can do his job, come and do it." That was that can happen.
Dude,
so,
that
like,
is the most real thing
bro,
I've ever heard. That's so
crazy. The whole time I'm panicking, dog. And what pisses me off the most is that when they hand me the script so that I can read off the script for the rehearsal, I knew it. I wasn't even reading the script. But I knew I had the script in my hand. I was like, "Sydney Calvino, chapter 4, 1913." I knew it. So we do the rehearsal. We're like, "All right, guys, we got it blocked out. You guys go to the room. We're gonna set the cameras up, and then we're gonna bring it back down." So the AD, she comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, it's all right. You know, this is what rehearsals are for. You know what I mean? I know you're nervous, blah blah. This is what they're for. This is for you to get set to be ready." I'm like, "Oh." A wave of like calmness just went over. And she goes, "But make sure you have your shit together before you come back down."
Yeah.
And then that wave of calmness left again. So I go up and I'm trying to remember the lines as hard as I can, and it's still whooping my ass. They bring in one of the frat brothers because you have consultants on set. They bring in one of the actual frat brothers to help me go through it and kind of like help me learn it. And he's just giving me confidence and everything like that. We go downstairs to shoot the first take, and I shot the bed again. I couldn't get through it. Finally, I got through it, but it wasn't pretty. They go, "All right, cut. Go back upstairs. We're gonna flip the cameras again." At this point, I know the director hates me. He probably still does not like me to this day, but I know he hates me. And I go back upstairs, and what really helped me a lot was when the cast met.
Yeah.
So we go back to the green room, and they're like, one of them was like, "Hey, man, like, you're good, bro. Like, you all right?" And then, it was Joshua Triplett, Terrell Hill, and just like, all the other actors that are there, just kind of making me feel a lot more comfortable. And they're like, Tyshawn, he tells me, "Oh, hey, you went through the hardest part." I'm like, "What's the hardest part?" He auditioned. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, "Yo, that's a fact." Mm-hmm. And just like all of the frat brothers just kind of like giving me this sense of comfort to where they're like, "Yo, you're here for a reason, bro. Like, mad people audition for this, and you're the one that got it." And that brought like a whole different sense of peace. I was like, "Oh shit, like I'm here." Yeah. You know what I mean? And that was like that first moment of like, oh, it was a revelation. Like, yo, you're here.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to be nervous about. Like, the job is yours. It's yours already. Yeah. Like the nerves happened in the audition. And for me, it was just like, oh, wow. All right, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? And I went back downstairs, and it was a breeze from then on out, man. Like, I was hitting everything. Like, and then they were just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, there you go.
Yeah.
And it was just like that. And that's I mean, obviously outside of the point, but that's why it's important and it's good when you have castmates that are willing to like be there for you. Because that moment, it's very possible that if they had not told me all of that and gave me that information and all that knowledge, I would have continued to shit the bed, lost my first job ever, and that would have been it. Right. You know what I mean? But because they were willing to give me that little bit of information and give me that little bit of confidence, it changed everything. And then from then on out, shooting was a breeze.
Right. And that's honestly why I think that story is so important, because the slow burn of it is a funny, like, embarrassing kind of a thing. But at the same time, there's this huge nugget of truth at the very end, which is you got the job because you deserve to be here. And sometimes that is the hardest thing to remember, is that you deserve to be there.
Listen, like, because the whole time I'm like, yo, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You don't, and to be honest, to this day, I still get that feeling.
Of course, me too.
I still get that feeling when you step on set. Like, when I booked Black Lightning, the first day that I ever shot, it was supposed to be a 1-episode co-star. That one scene that you see in the first episode of season 3, I was there by myself, so there were no nerves. It was like, oh, like at this point, I've already done a couple jobs on TV. I'm a more comfortable as a professional, and I'm here by myself. Who do I have to? I'm not nervous. And obviously, ignorance is sometimes bliss because the showrunner was directing that episode,
right?
The creator, and I had no idea.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So like, I was like, oh yeah, cool. Like I found out after I did the research, but that day that's who was there, and I wasn't thinking of anything. I just was comfortable about it, did my scene, and it went well. They decided to bring me back, and when I came back, I was acting with Will Catlett, and I don't know how much any of you know about Will Catlett and his talents, but he is a phenomenal actor.
Absolutely.
And he's one of the bigger characters on Black Lightning. So on that day, it was that sense of, okay, I don't deserve to be here. So I was very reserved, very quiet. It wasn't so much affecting my performance, but it was definitely affecting my personality.
Sure.
And once again, because I've had the luxury of having phenomenal castmates, the first thing that came out of Will's mouth when he saw me was like, oh, King Rafael, I've been looking forward to working with you. That made all of that, oh, I shouldn't be, it left. It was like, and he could have been saying it because he genuinely was excited to work with me, or he could have been saying it because he knows it would help me.
Yeah.
And it did. You know what I mean? Will Cat Lala is saying he's looking forward to working with what? You know what I mean? And that just brought a different sense of comfort, which is really important. And it's something that I try to take with myself. Like when I'm seeing someone new on set, I try to talk to them, try to converse with them, try to make them feel more comfortable, because like it's always this moment of like, I shouldn't be here. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's this moment like, I shouldn't be here. What am I doing here? You're nervous, and that affects your performance. But once you have like one of the main characters come up to you and start talking to you, it's like, oh, okay, we're good. I should be here. I got here for a reason.
Right.
This world was mine for a reason.
Yeah, you're always worthy. Anyone in the room is worthy. Just like how you had your thing and you felt like you were unworthy of having this role, there's also a huge possibility, like for example, in an alternate universe where you were the extra and then the other guy wasn't getting his lines and then they just asked you to do it and then you did it, then your career started like that. So anyone and everyone is worthy. There's no such thing of like, I'm not worthy of anything or whatever, I'm not talented. Dude, you're here. So you are. If you weren't, you wouldn't be here, because there's people, sadly enough, that would even kill for extra work in Los Angeles.
Yeah. I also believe one thing that's my philosophy when it comes to this career in this industry is, what's for you is for you.
Exactly.
It does not matter how you come into it. Doesn't matter how it's nothing. What's for you is for you. Because for them to give you that, you give them a huge obstacle when you're not even a lead. You give them that huge obstacle, and they're like, all right, we're going to make it work. That's because that was for you.
Right.
That was for you. And obviously, I don't know where your faith lies, but like my faith lies in God. And like, that's my belief. Like, like God wanted you to have that.
But it's the truth, man. I mean, of course, you can live your life as an actor without faith or anything, but I feel like having my spiritual faith in God and things like that have really been beneficial for me, at least to not go insane, and also to really see the minute and be like, wow, man, like there's something really freaking cool and special about this story. For example, before we really knew each other as friends, we worked together on a Nickelodeon show. We're on the same episode, which is crazy. And then we later became friends, and we didn't even know. Honestly, like I'm sure you shot that like a week or something before after I shot my thing, so like we probably didn't even know. But
so funny enough, I originally auditioned for the role that you got.
Yeah.
Because of something I did in my audition, they offered me the role that I ended up getting.
Right. And that's usually how it works, man. Like that's usually how it works. It's like sometimes just by showing up, you're showing them something that they didn't know they wanted. You know, like how many pilots or whatever have you seen where in the script it says like teenager, Indian, this, that, and the other thing, and then it ends up getting cast by like a white dude who's like the complete opposite. Aziz Ansari, his character in Parks and Recreation, was just supposed to be a white guy. But he showed up and they were like, no, we like you. So now he's this. You know, the same thing
I mean,
with
that's-
Donald Glover in
yeah.
Community.
Yeah.
Donald Glover in you especially see it in season 1 of Community. He was supposed to be this like white jock. And Donald Glover like kind of plays it in season 1 a little bit. They hired him because they liked him. And then of course in season 2 he starts to become the Troy that we end up loving, you know. But that's just how it is. But yeah, dude, that's so interesting. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. Let's talk about Black Lightning a little bit. You talked about the audition and getting to meet with Will and things like that. Was this just out of curiosity, was it a self-tape or was it an in-person audition?
Self-tape. So like, it was a co-star. Like it was a one scene co-star. That's what it was for. So that self-tape booked off the self-tape and I did it as a local hire, so I had to find myself out and go shoot it. But what happened was you know, for one, the fans reacted well to my scene, and two, the writers' room liked it and the producers liked it. Yeah. And I guess they all mutually agreed, like, yo, we got to bring this guy back, which is a blessing. It's been a huge blessing. And that's just that one episode co-star turned into like a 5-episode recurring co-star. Like, and, you know, I'm still waiting on word, but hopefully going to be in season 4 as well. Yeah. You know, it's super cool, man, because, you know, throughout the show, this character, Lala, he's had a couple of secondhand men, but they all last 1 episode, 2 episodes. And he would tell me that, he's like, yeah, man, you know, I'm kind of surprised. Like, yo, they still bring you back. I'm glad they keep on bringing you back. Like, by the 3rd, 4th episode, yo, they bring you, okay, I'm glad. Like, and then by the 5th one, it was like, yo, we're doing this. This is what we're doing. Like, you're his right-hand man and whatever. And yeah, man, it was definitely a blessing. But yeah, it was a simple audition because it was supposed to be a really simple role.
Yeah. It's funny because while you were telling that, it actually reminded me of Boy Meets World. Did you ever watch Boy Meets World?
Bro, I love Boy Meets World.
Okay, so you'll know this reference. In the first season of Boy Meets World, I don't know if you remember the first season, but Corey was originally supposed to have 2 friends. It wasn't supposed to be just him and Sean. So,
okay, I remember.
You would always see him with different kids in every episode. Yeah. And it literally got to the point where him and Ryder Strong would call the chair that the new kid would sit in the death chair. Because like it was always changed with different actors.
God, I didn't know that.
There was one point that it was the kid that played Yeah in The Sandlot. There was one kid. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like most of the kids from The Sandlot were the other friend. To be honest,
literally, I remember all of the different friends that would come in.
Yeah, like, and then finally, they were like, no, I think the dynamic between the two of them really works the best. So let's just do that. Yeah. This is what's so cool about that show. And I believe that it relates to Black Lightning and your situation as well, which is why I'm telling you, is because the things that made the show what are so memorable were lightning in a bottle moments. They wanted it to be 2 friends. It ended up being 1. So everyone remembers Corey and Sean. Yeah. Topanga was supposed to be in 1 episode, and that's it. She was supposed to be the weird girl, and that's it. In fact, she's in an episode before she's Topanga, and she's just some girl. That's it. And then
I remember.
Yeah, and then she's in another episode as like this weird hippie girl. Of course, the writers' room likes it. To be honest, the fans like it as well. So that's really beneficial. And then it becomes a thing of like, okay, well now let's bring her back and let's kind of work this relationship with Corey and Topanga now and all this kind of stuff. And it's very similar with your situation where you're saying that he has different secondhand men, but the tried and true one is you, right? So so good. Hopefully it will be something where it's like, okay, well, it seems to be that these 2 stick well, so let's just keep it these 2. Yeah. And you guys can be like the freaking Bulk and Skull of you know, Black Lightning or whatever.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and so far that's how it's been working, man. Like, and it's something that I felt, that he felt immediately, the head writer felt immediately.
Okay. I mean,
it was just that thing. Like, I remember we did our first scene together, and the head writer immediately came to us, and he was like, yo, I love you. I love the chemistry you guys have. You guys work really well together. He
Right.
was like, yeah, I feel that too. And I was like, yeah, I feel it too.
I
You
love
know what I
it.
mean? And that's just how it happened.
Right.
Where it was just like, okay, this immediate, like, working well together, and yeah, that just led to me getting brought back more and more and more.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
if the writer producer likes you, the character that you have to work with likes you, you continue to get brought back.
Sometimes it is that simple. Sometimes it's just
Yeah.
as simple as like, are you a person that we want to be around?
Pretty much.
Because
And
like,
that's why, like that charisma and like ability plays such a big part in your career.
Yeah.
Not just in the role you play, but in your career. Because sometimes people enjoying your presence is enough to get you that job,
absolutely.
or to expand on that role. It's like, yo, we like having him around, so no, we can't kill him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's sometimes it's a literal like bias in a sense. Like, no, we love him too much, we can't.
Right.
You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
I totally get that. Just to kind of wrap it up, and I wanted to ask you, I've been asking everyone this question as I've been doing the podcast through quarantine. What is the first place you're going to go, or the first thing that you're going to do once this whole thing is over?
Ooh, that's a good question because it's something I have not thought about. I just want to, like, man, I think I'm gonna go get a good meal inside of a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. And I'm definitely gonna wall out. Like, I'm not a club guy, but I'm gonna go to a club.
Yeah. Is
Like,
there, just out of curiosity, is there a specific meal that you would want?
I don't have anything specific, but like I like Chili's.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten Chili's in a while.
Sure.
Or, yo, if I'm still in Florida, Flanagan's, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just, like, I just want to get out. Like, I want to get out. Like, that's my
Dude.
biggest thing. Like,
My favorite thing about Flanagan's, and sorry to anyone who's listening that's not from Florida or doesn't know what we're talking about, but it's essentially like it's like a ale house kind of place where there's just
it's
like
Chili's on a boat.
yeah, it's Chili's on a boat. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. My favorite detail about Flanagan's are the pictures on the wall. It reminds me of The Shining. I don't know have you ever seen The Shining?
No, I haven't. Don't judge me.
No, it's fine. It reminds me of it because I feel like the more I start looking into the photos, the more I realize that I'm in the photo. Like, you're just like, is that me? Like, this is weird.
I don't have that experience. Because, once again, anyone that knows Flanagan knows that I don't have that experience. But it's funny that you have that experience.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny to any like Cuban man, I guess, because we all look the same in a weird way. At least in black and white photos, we all look the same. So it's just like a weird thing of like, is that me from another dimension? This is really strange. Flanagan's always does that. Yeah, Flanagan's always does that to me. Something I also find really funny is that whenever I ask anyone this question, dudes are always like, I want to get a meal, and girls are like, I want to go to the salon. Like, it's always usually around the same kind of answer.
Oh, yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I am so excited to get a haircut.
Yeah.
Yo, like, my hair, like, I haven't let my hair grow out like this in like such a while, and my beard is like wilding out. Like, I am so excited to sit in the barber. I've never been excited like this to sit in the barber's chair, bro. Like, never. Like, I'm gonna be so excited to get a haircut.
That's the one positive I think that this has brought in this whole world is like, especially in America, it's brought back how the minute is so important.
Bro,
you forget how like special it is to sit down at a barbershop and get your hair cut.
Taking a trip to Walmart.
Yeah.
Bored, like, yo, like little things, bro. Going to see friends, like, there's little things that I now realize that mean so much to me that I am missing so much, bro.
Yeah, like, dude. This is gonna sound so emo, but like, I really miss hugging people, dude.
I feel that.
Yeah. I really miss hugging people.
Yo, just human connection. Like, yeah, man. I just want to be around people.
Yeah.
I miss my friends.
Me too, man. But this has been so awesome, man. This has been such a great episode. Thank you so much for your time, Rafi. This was great.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Where can people find you online?
On almost any social media. Rafi So Dope. which is RAFISODOPE. I also have a Twitter, which is Rafael C Official, RAFAELC Official. And I also have an Instagram page where I'll post my poems. It's been a while since I posted one, but it's a So Dope Story. So the same way you spell Rafi So Dope, it's ASODOPE Story. And yeah, that's about it, man.
Nice, man. And for me, you can find me on Instagram at Mike Valdes, on Twitter at I am Mike Valdes. You can go to whoismikevaldez.com to find out the answer to that question. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe, tell your friends so we can grow this family. Bye, besties! That was a Geek Bro podcast. For more podcasts like this one, visit geekbro.net.